Every game begins the same way.
Welcome, Birdland! Before we dive into the depths of this news, which has no doubt sparked a lot of discussion, I need to make a direct request to you, our viewer. If you're a true Orioles fan, a member of Birdland who lives and breathes every game, every heartbeat of our team, I ask that you subscribe to the channel right now. It's simple, fast, and by doing so, you guarantee access to the fastest, deepest, and most exclusive analyses on everything happening with our beloved O's. It's not just a subscription, it's proof that you want to be ahead of everyone else, with information from someone who truly follows the team's day-to-day life closely, with a unique and true perspective. Here, we don't just inform, we feel, we cheer, we criticize, and we defend. Here we shout with the greatest pride in the world, and that's why you can't be left out. Today I bring you some behind-the-scenes information that deserves our immediate attention and careful analysis. The Orioles, always attentive to the market in search of opportunities to strengthen the bullpen, have announced the signing of right-handed pitcher Rico Garcia. For those who follow MLB news closely, the name might sound familiar, as Garcia had a brief stint with the New York Yankees, and more recently with the New York Mets, before being waived and now being welcomed by our franchise. The news, confirmed by internal sources, indicates that the front office sought in Garcia, a replacement piece for the minor leagues, with the hope that he can eventually become a viable option for the main roster. But let's take a moment to analyze this player's history. Garcia is not a stranger to our organization. He wore the Birds uniform in 2022, pitching in 6 games and posting a .450 ERA in 8 innings. At the time, he proved to be a reasonable option, but the front office chose not to keep him. His return, therefore, is a clear sign that the search for stability and bullpen depth continues, even if it's with a name we already know. Garcia's career is marked by several short stints with different teams, which forces us to view this signing with a mix of hope and caution. He was drafted by the Colorado Rockies in 2016 and made his MLB debut in 2019, but with a high ERA of 10.50 in 6 innings. From there, his journey included stints with the San Francisco Giants, Tommy John surgery, and now this pilgrimage through the New York clubs. The question we all ask is, what did the O's front office see in Garcia now that they didn't see in 2022? The answer may lie in the need for reliable AAA replacement pieces, a crucial point for sustaining the main rotation in case of injuries or underperformance. With a 4.45 ERA in Syracuse and a brief return to the Mets with a 3.38 ERA in 8 innings, Garcia showed flashes of good pitching. However, his stint with the Yankees was turbulent, giving up 3 earned runs in 2-2-3 innings, culminating in his swift waiver. This signing, therefore, is not a big market splash, but rather a low-risk strategic decision aimed at strengthening the minor league system and having a potential backup. The Orioles front office has been praised for its ability to find talent where others don't, but Garcia is a case of a returning player who has already had his chance here. He is being signed to the minor league system, and the big question is whether he can prove himself again. The recent history shows he can have good moments, but inconsistency is a trademark of his career. The main goal is for him to provide roster depth, and who knows, maybe he can become an option for the bullpen in the future, especially considering our relentless search for reliable pitchers. It's a move that doesn't generate splashy headlines, but one that could be important for long-term roster management. The arrival of Rico Garcia to the Orioles minor league system, after his brief but intense journey with the Mets and Yankees, raises a series of tactical and strategic considerations for the future of our team. First, it's essential to understand the context in which this signing happens. The bullpen, as we know, is an area of constant monitoring for the front office and coaching staff. The MLB season is long and demanding, and having solid options in AAA to fill potential gaps in the main roster is a necessity, not a luxury. The recent series of injuries and the need to rotate pitchers to keep them fresh reinforce this strategy. The signing of an arm like Garcia's, who already has major league experience, and even with our own franchise, is a pragmatic low-cost move. The Orioles are not investing a significant amount, but they are acquiring a player who can, in theory, contribute. His 2022 stint with the Birds, where he posted a .450 ERA, is an important point of reference. While not spectacular, it wasn't a disaster either. His departure at the time was more of a roster management decision than a reflection of terrible performance. Now he returns with a resume of mixed experiences in New York. With the Mets, he had a good start on his return with a 3.38 ERA in 8 innings, which could be an indicator that he is pitching better. However, his time with the Yankees was a disaster, giving up 3 earned runs in just 2.23 innings, resulting in a quick waiver. This duality in his recent performance is what makes this signing intriguing. The Orioles front office may be betting that the environment and development structure of our organization can bring out the best in Garcia, just as they have with other players. This decision, although not a big-name signing, says a lot about our front office's management philosophy. They are not content with just having a strong main roster. The depth of the minor league system is seen as a fundamental pillar for continued success. The signing of Garcia is a reminder of this. We cannot expect him to solve all our bullpen problems, but he represents another arm that can be called up if needed. The fact that he has played in Syracuse and Rochester in the minor league systems of the Mets and Yankees, respectively, means he is familiar with the logistics of the Northeast, which facilitates his integration. In terms of technical analysis, Garcia is a pitcher who relies on a combination of a fastball and a slider. His recent performance with the Mets before being waived suggests that he can be effective in certain situations, especially in transitional innings or in games that are already decided. The question is whether he can maintain consistency, something that has been a struggle in his career. The challenge for the Orioles coaching staff will be to identify the best way to use him if he is promoted. Can he become a long inning reliever or a specialist in facing certain hitters? The answers to these questions will depend on his performance in AAA and what the coaching staff observes. It's a move that doesn't shake up the main roster, but one that shows the constant pursuit of improvement and depth in our franchise. The re-signing of Rico Garcia by the Baltimore Orioles, while not the big headline of the day, is a move that fits perfectly into the franchise's long-term strategy, focused on building a solid and resilient foundation. For fans hoping for an elite bullpen pitcher, this news may seem lackluster. However, it is necessary to see the complete picture. The front office under our leadership has shown a remarkable ability to extract value from players that many other teams discard. The signing of Garcia is no exception. He is a pitching arm who, despite being inconsistent throughout his career, has shown flashes of potential. The history of his .450 ERA in 8 innings with the O's in 2022 and the recent reasonable stint with the Mets on his return, 3.38 ERA, are evidence that at a good moment, he can be useful. The challenge is to maintain that good moment and avoid disasters, like his quick stint with the Yankees. The front office's move shows a small bets mentality. Instead of going after a big name on the trade market, which could be expensive in terms of prospects, the franchise chooses to look for players who are available and can fit into our system. This approach is a hallmark of our philosophy and has been incredibly successful. Garcia, with his major league experience, adds a level of depth that is crucial for a full season. Imagine a scenario where an unexpected injury hits our main bullpen. Having a player like Garcia in AAA who is already familiar with the system and can be called up to fill the gap is a valuable asset. He is not the savior, but he is insurance against the unforeseen. It is fundamental that we, the fans, have the patience to understand that not every signing will be a blockbuster. The success of a franchise is not built only by big stars, but also by solid and reliable support pieces. Rico Garcia may not be a star, but he has a chance to become a support piece. His path to the main roster will be challenging, and he will need to prove his worth in AAA. Our coaching staff, known for its ability to develop pitchers, will have the task of working with him to refine his pitching mechanics and strategies. If they can bring out the best in Garcia, we might have a pleasant surprise. Our franchise has done this before, turning what seemed like disposable arms into productive members of the roster. In short, this signing is a reminder that the Orioles management is always looking for ways to strengthen the team from top to bottom. It is a move aimed at depth, resilience, and the ability to react to the unforeseen. Rico Garcia's history with our team in 2022 gives us a glimpse of what he can offer, but his recent history shows the volatility of his performance. It's a calculated gamble, a move that can bear fruit if everything goes right, but that doesn't harm the franchise if it doesn't work out. It is the essence of a smart baseball approach that has led us to success. And for us in Birdland, it's one more piece to monitor and hope for the best. The signing of pitcher Rico Garcia by the Orioles after his journey with the Mets and Yankees reinforces the roster building philosophy that has been the backbone of our recent success. It is a move that does not seek immediate glory, but long-term stability and depth. The front office demonstrates once again that it is not willing to pay a high price for relief pitchers on the trade market, preferring to invest in talents that can be developed or, like Garcia, are already familiar with the organization. Garcia's recent history, with quick stints and volatile performance, is a clear sign that he is a gamble, but a low-risk, high-reward gamble should the coaching staff be able to polish his talent. What strikes me is the fact that the front office was not afraid to bring back a player who has already been here. This shows confidence in their own evaluation and development capabilities. They know what Garcia can do, and they probably see something in his recent history that makes them believe he can be a useful piece. His time with the Yankees, with a poor performance that resulted in immediate waiving, can be seen as a question mark. But his more consistent performance with the Mets on his return is a point of hope. The big question is, which version of Rico Garcia will we see? The one that had success in the Mets minor league system, or the one that failed quickly with the Yankees? The answer to that question will be crucial in determining the success of this signing. For us in Birdland, what we need to understand is that the search for reliable pitchers is a continuous journey. There's no magic solution. Every move, no matter how small, is a piece in a larger puzzle. Garcia's arrival is another piece, an arm that can provide coverage in case of need. It's not the signing that will guarantee us a spot in the World Series, but it's the kind of decision that shows the front office is thinking about the big picture, about the sustainability of success. The depth of the minor league system is the key to the franchise's future, and Garcia is another player who will have the chance to prove his worth in that system. The main news of the day is that the Baltimore Orioles have signed right-handed pitcher Rico Garcia to their minor league system, a move aimed at strengthening bullpen depth. Garcia, who wore the Birds uniform in 2022, has a recent history of quick stints with the Yankees and Mets, and will now have a chance to reassert himself in our organization. And now, I ask you directly, fan, what do you think of this decision by the front office? Do you think bringing back a player who has already been here is a good strategy? What would be the best way to use Rico Garcia should he be promoted? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Your voice, the voice of Birdland, is fundamental to the debate. If you liked our analysis, give it a like, comment with your opinion, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the most exclusive and updated analyses on our team. Together we make a difference. Together we are the Birds.